Hello everybody and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to show you guys what I do as soon as I'm done with the story to get the level cap as quickly as possible. There are multiple different ways to do this. I'm just going to show you the few that I like to do myself. Now we're going to start out with Moe's because Moe's is hands down the easiest Vault Hunter to level after you're done with the story mode. We're actually on my Hyperion Moe's right now, and here's the spec I'm going to use. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be farming Grave Ward with Moe's. This is the spec we're going to use. Every point I have in here is just to buff the Vanquisher rocket pods as much as possible. So I'm down in blue tree. I have a little on purple. Some of these points don't make sense, but that's just because this spec only has one job, to kill Grave Ward. That's it. Some of them are filler points. A lot of it doesn't make sense. Here's an alternate spec from Moe's. In case you're struggling with damage, you can come down the green tree and grab Specialist Bear, which gives you plus 60% more damage. In my opinion, this spec is probably better than the one that's currently on my Hyperion Moe's. So if you're going to copy this guide, you should probably go with this spec. And you only have to be level 37, but make sure you do the green tree down to here first. But once you have your spec set in, you're going to need a gun. You need a gun with this anointment on it. Now, because this is on my Hyperion Moe's, I had to make sure it was a Hyperion gun, so I got this anointment on this gun by re-rolling. But normally when you're level capped, you're pretty low on Iridium. So what you want to do is go see Crazy Earl. Now, making sure the Mayhem 11 is switched on, you can go to this vending machine, and Crazy Earl sells guns with anointments on them. And you can keep save quitting until you find what you need. Like this one, for instance, has Iron Bear is active, railgun damage is increased. I believe this farm can also be done with railguns. It's not my preferred way, but if that's all you could get your hands on, and for 328 Iridium, that's pretty cheap. But if you don't find what you need, just save quit and keep returning to this until you find what you need. But if you have a specific gun and you want to re-roll your anointment, check out my Iridium farming guide. I'll put a card up for it in the corner here, or you can go down to the guides playlist on my channel and find it there. And if you didn't know already, before we head to Grave Ward, you want to come to the science machine. It doesn't matter if you have DLC or not, this machine works. As you can see, it's actually my first time turning it on this character. And once you've played the game enough, you get these tokens. And you can spend these tokens on boosters. And you want to get this booster every time before you start to level like that. Because the 25% XP bonus is huge when you're talking about that many levels in a row. Plus, after 2 hours, you'll probably be level capped with Moe's anyways. And once you have that on, you're going to go ahead and make sure your Guardian rank is on. You could press in the corner Q to disable if you find that the Guardian rank gives you too many buffs and makes the game too easy for you. But while we're farming, we're turning that on. Okay, and before we fight Grave Ward, what you're going to want to do is as soon as you jump down, you're going to want to jump in Iron Bear. Sometimes you get lucky and Iron Bear will get stuck up here, and then you don't have to deal with the tilting platform or anything at all. You can just nuke him. Now, mind you, all the gear I have is normal mode gear. It's just stuff I picked up on the way. So when I mean immediately after you get done with the story, you can switch it to Mayhem 11 and come farm Grave Ward, I mean it. And what we're going to do is we're going to run and we're going to jump down the hole. And we didn't get stuck, so we're going to keep firing. And the reason you want to get in it, even though you lose it like that, is if you look, he's already back off cooldown by the time the platform straightens out. And then we just tear into him. And there you go. No gear whatsoever required. You just need that one simple anointment. Now, if you're not lucky enough to be playing as Moe's, you'll have a little bit harder time with the other Vault Hunters, but we're going to get to those now. Okay, so now we switch over to Amara. Her AoE stands for Area of Effect, and basically means killing multiple enemies at the same time. Well, hers is insanely good, even with bad gear. So here's the spec we're using. The important things you want to get from this spec, like the super important, you definitely want to have ties that bind, because that makes your AoE even crazier. Ricochet for more AoE. And then with low gear levels, I'll put 2 points in sustainment. This will keep you alive as long as you're hitting an enemy. When you get better gear, you can put just 1 point into this talent, and that'll keep you alive. As for the blue tree, we haven't made it that far down the blue tree yet, but the things we're aiming to get, I like Stillness of Mind to lock people in place that get captured by ties that bind. And then the other big hitter in here is Remnant. If you watched Maliwan Takedown with only white weapons, you would know that this thing hits hard as hell whether you have good gear or not. So as you're leveling, you want to aim to get those two things. As for weapons, the best thing to do to get started is turn on Mayhem 11 and grab some Moxie guns. Another easy and amazing gun to get for all the Vault Hunters is the Butcher. You can pick up the Lootergrams from Dinklebot from Skywell 17 on normal mode, then switch it to Mayhem 11 once you get back to Sanctuary, and that means when you turn them in, you're going to get a Mayhem 11 gun. And the Butcher's overpowered, you basically never have to reload it on any Vault Hunter. And I've used it to cheese my way to good gear multiple times. Okay, so once we're done with that, we can head to the Slaughter Shaft. Now for the next area we're going to farm, your Mayhem mode may vary depending on how good your artifacts / class mods are after leveling. Also, it can vary depending on how comfortable you are with the Vault Hunter you're using, or even the game itself. So because this is my Amara from the Super Bowl video, its gear is terrible. So I'm probably going to find a sweet spot around Mayhem 3. Yes, I could push harder, but when I'm grinding, I'm normally only about 50% focused on the game, and it keeps it fun and simple for the couple hours grinding it can take to hit level cap. Now, Amara can do any of the following areas like a champ, but for maximum fun and some good drops, I chose the Slaughter Shaft to show her off because the densely packed enemies are perfect for her AoE. Just try to phase grasp the enemy with the biggest health bar, shoot at it, and watch everything around it fall. And just rinse and repeat until you hit cap. And hopefully you get some good drops. Okay, so next up, we're going to head to the Psychobillies. That's on Eden 6. Then you want to head to the Ambermire, and then you want to go to Rogue's Hollow. Okay, and with Flak, once again, we're grabbing Moxie weapons to do this. Now, Flak's spec doesn't matter as much, but I prefer Gamma Burst spec, and that's what my green tree looks like. This character is a bit over-leveled, so if you're going to go with my Gamma Burst spec, go down the blue tree first. Alright, to get to the Psychobillies, once you're in this room, what you want to do is run and jump out this window, and if you can make the jump, save yourself some time. And they're right in here. One of the few downfalls of this farm is that there's no easy vendor. You actually have to teleport off to get to a vending machine to get your ammo, but there are a lot of boxes inside the cave. So after you kill them, if you search all these loot boxes, you should keep your ammo up enough. But one other trick that I found out, if you want to go for a higher Mayhem level with crappier gear, if you get yourself a Red Fang class mod, it turns your pet into basically a main tank for you. So you can go above Mayhem 3 or wherever you're comfortable. On my Flak, I did this farm. I was actually running Mayhem 11 the entire time after the story mode. And as you can see with the Red Fang class mod equipped, I don't even take shots. They're not paying attention to me at all. So this is why you can get away with going higher Mayhem levels if you have this class mod. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's head on to our last one.
Welcome to Trash Lantern.
Okay, so for our last XP farm, we're going to do the Scraptrap nest. You have to have the Handsome Jackpot DLC for this one. After you finish Trash Lantis, the Scraptrap nest is right here. And for this one, it is the fastest XP farm in the game, but it is kind of gear dependent in a way. And as for build, we're using Zane. I think the best spec to use for farming is Clone and Drone. So we're going to go ahead and capstone this talent tree, and then you want to build down the blue tree as you level. The only thing I would say is I do not recommend using shock grenades in here because there's so much water on the floor. I like to set myself up in the corner as you're about to leave, and then we'll just kill claptraps until the claptrap boss comes out at the end. As you can see with this build, I'm barely even having to shoot. And here comes the boss. The only thing he does, you have to watch out for his saw blades he shoots. Those can hurt you. Alright, so the cool part about this one is you can reset it without save quitting. So the door to go leave, you want to walk up this. Make sure that you have your clone away or it won't reset. Walk up into this corner and wait 5 seconds. And then when you walk back down, it resets for you. You don't even have to save quit. That's why this is the best farm in the game. Okay, so those are my 4 favorite ways to level a character after I've completed the story mode. Thank you for liking and subscribing.